Come on down to Cinemassacre Video, where selection is the name of the game. We got comedy, drama, action, horror, movies for kids, movies for mom and dad. We got the newest releases, the hottest video games, even Laserdisc. Having a problem making a selection? Our friendly staff is always there to help out, and with our state-of-the-art database software, it's easy to find exactly what you're looking for, even if it sucks. Today's featured rental, Starship Troopers. Come on, you apes, you want to live forever? Evil bugs from the planet Clendathu are attacking Earth, and it's up to good old Johnny Rico and his band of roughnecks to stop them. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, the director of Hollow Man, Basic Instinct, and Showgirls. Starring Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, Neil Patrick Harris, Jake Busey, and Michael Ironside. Cinemassacre Video in the Voorhees Memorial Shopping Center next to Caldor. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Yode, authentic wood wrist watches, timeless timepieces that stand the test of time. Yode, finely crafted from high-quality natural materials, Mother Earth and Father Time, now in one unique stylish package. Use the element which brings life to tell the time. Yode. Enter now into an exclusive giveaway contest by visiting the link in the description or heading to woodwatches.com/g/cinemassacre. All who enter will receive $50 off their favorite Yode watch, while the winner will receive $189 off. Are you a bad enough dude to style and profile with an authentic wooden watch by Yode? Yode. Style is an open road when you wear a watch by Yode.
Whew. Hey, sorry, running a little bit late. I didn't realize what time it was.
Well, if only you had a watch.
Oh, what kind of watch is that?
Yode.
Anyway, Starship Troopers is my favorite movie of all time, and I have the widescreen VHS here that you let me rent. I think I forgot this whole thing. I get confused now. Let's review it.
Yeah, so I saw Starship Troopers in theaters. You guys?
My grandfather took me to see it when I was like 6. Everyone else's
Wow.
6 or 7 whenever this came out. Everyone else's grandparents.
This was like 97.
Yeah, would not take their kids to see, like their grandchildren to see this. He heard about a bug ripping someone in half, and he's like, "Tony, I gotta see this. You want to come?" And I'm like, "All right." Didn't even realize it was rated R. There was a lot of boobs and blood, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Wow. I was like 17, and I think I was like the target audience. Like this was when I saw it, it blew my mind. It's kind of funny to think that it was that big of a deal, but I had the poster on my wall and everything. I was all about Starship Troopers for like a year.
I was psyched about this movie. I was a kid too. I was like 10, or I was 9, turning 10, and I asked my dad to take us, but he got our stepmom at the time to take us, and she's like she was from Taiwan, so she didn't really speak much English and stuff, and she was just like the entire time like, oh my god, I can't believe I just took like a 10-year-old and my sister who was 7 or 8 at the time, so like we were both in the theater, and like every time there was boobs, she was like covering my eyes, like, and there's a lot of boobs in this movie. Like, there's there's the shower scene, there's Dizzy and the tent and everything like that. But this is the first rated R movie I've seen in theaters.
It might
Not
be
my first
mine.
ever rated R film, but
It might be mine in the
True
theater
Lies.
too. Yeah.
True Lies.
True Lies.
Well, mine was RoboCop. I was 3.
Yeah.
But RoboCop and Total Recall is part of the Verhoeven Holy Trilogy,
Yes.
including Total Recall, Starship Troopers.
Showgirls.
The Showgirls.
Showgirls is great. Love Showgirls and Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
You know, I didn't know he did Hollow Man until you told me that like recently, and I was like, oh, okay,
That's
I can see
the
it now.
anti-trilogy.
Which I may or may not have just reviewed before you've seen this one. Yeah.
I love Starship Troopers. It's probably my favorite movie.
Really, like of all time?
Probably, because I love like Casino. I love as a drama. Terminator 2 I love as an action film and all that stuff. And of course I love a lot of classic and whatever. But Starship frickin' Troopers is just awesome. It takes what I like about Star Trek, Star Wars, classic science fiction novels and just puts it all in one thing.
It's basically kind of like a remake of Them a little bit, where they're basically
with the bugs.
fight the ants,
I mean, Robert Heinlein, who's definitely one of the top, in the big 3 of science fiction writers, him, Arthur C. Clarke, and Asimov or whatever. You know, this was written in 1959. And this is a guy who also did Stranger in a Strange Land and Red Planet. And if you don't know what Red Planet is...
The Val Kilmer movie?
No.
Is it the cartoon?
Yes. There was a cartoon on Fox Kids. They aired it once. You should go online.
No, they would air it like every year.
They?
Yeah, they aired it a few times when I was a kid. It was a mini-series. It was like it was like 6 parts.
You should watch the Red Planet miniseries.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
With Willis, that weird monster. Yeah. Or he was like a little guy, and then he turned into one of the big things at the end.
He was voiced by the guy who did Krang and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that was really cool.
What you're talking about.
Yo, dude, you should watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I think it's really good. I liked it as a kid a lot, and I always got excited when it came back. But every time I watch shit from like then, I'm always like, what the hell was that?
Except for Starship Troopers.
Yeah, no, Starship Troopers. Which I will say, Starship Troopers, seeing it in theaters scared the shit out of me. Like, I was thinking, the movie's called Starship Troopers, which sounds stupid.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, you know, dudes fighting big bugs, and it looks like this awesome action movie. And by that time, I was like, you know, I watched, and at this time, I had seen RoboCop. I saw Speed and stuff. So this wasn't my first rated R film. But that first scene where Johnny Rico gets like his knee messed up, that one guy gets ripped in half, and it's loud in the theater. I was only 10, and it scared the shit out of me.
It starts with this war propaganda, like, you gotta fight, whatever. And then you see the main character you saw in the trailers and all that die. Like a bug murders him. Like, that's what you see.
I love the whole world they establish in this. It's like, I think the writer said it's like fascism took over without anyone realizing that they're fascists.
Yeah, like a few people, including like Red Letter and stuff, they said it's like opposite Star Trek. Like instead of socialism, they went with
you get,
fascism.
I knew it was like a satire.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, I knew it was some kind of satire. And yeah, I think it's sort of like the people in the movie are brainwashed to think that violence solves problems. And like
I wouldn't say they're brainwashed, but that's what their society came to. It's kind of like how they're basically kind of saying, and that's the whole point of the parody of it all, is that we could come this way. It's it's a very slippery slope.
Look, when you vote, you are exercising political authority. You're using force. And force, my friends, is violence. The supreme authority from which all other authority is derived.
There's this idea that like most of humanity got together to fight another enemy, and now it's like there are no more enemies, so they're going out into space. And there's even like you know when the bugs launch an asteroid to us. There's like a lot of film theories and stuff that suggest that the government did it and blamed it on the bugs just as an excuse to keep humanity together fighting something in space so we don't fight with each other anymore.
Yeah, because imagine if the movie wasn't bugs, like if it was like a humans against humans.
Well, they kind
of like
go into that, because when you see them training, like in the thing, like things pop up, and like when they're training, they're fighting other humans. And when the green things pop up, like when they shoot the one guy in the head and he gets... Rico gets demoted as squad leader. They're green soldiers.
That part gets
like
me every time I see it.
If they were trying to fight bugs, wouldn't all the things in the training be bug stuff?
Yeah.
It's not, because
it's like they invested so much money into all this stuff and they had to find an excuse to do it. They're like, we're gonna go to space, and like they even suggest that like the humans started the war with the bugs.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Because I originally, and that's like kind of one of the ingenious things about the film. Like, I mean, I have to look at it again, but I remember it starts off and you kind of just assume like, oh, the bugs must have attacked the Earth. It's the same as any like 50s sci-fi movie. It's like these aliens come and attack. But then as you watch it and it goes on, you start to think, wait a minute, did the bugs attack?
Yeah, they never come to...
And you know what's cool with the bugs? They're doing the same thing the humans are doing, because it's different species of bugs teaming up together to fight us, and it's like all of humanity teaming up together to fight them.
And especially when you see that last bug, that
the brain
bug.
Yeah, the brain bug. They start to feel like the victims.
Yeah, I always felt bad for that thing.
Yeah, I felt bad for the brain bug.
There's one scene that explains everything you need to know about that. It's in the beginning opening when they're doing like the, hey, you want to learn more, and you know all the propaganda stuff. They say that Mormon extremists have taken over they made a compound on a planet.
However, Mormon extremists disregarded federal warnings and established Port Joe Smith, deep inside the arachnid quarantine zone. Too late, they realized that Dantana had already been chosen by other colonists, arachnids. Would you like to know more?
So you already know that their society doesn't like religion because Mormons have been outcasted to set up colonies. And 2, they're colonizing planets that they probably shouldn't because they're, you know, there's species there. We're the invasive species.
Yeah.
So of course
like, we're the bad guys technically.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it just felt like, you know, because I mean the whole thing with the comet. Where they never really explain like how the bugs did send a comet. They say that there's the asteroid belt, but like
you see bugs shooting things into space later on in the movie, and you're like,
but that could be just seen as they're defending their planet because they're like, holy shit, like these guys are coming down with guns and blowing us up.
The assumption is the bugs find out that Earth is the planet that's coming after them because they're sucking the intelligence out of all the people that go there, and then they realize, oh, we can use our I don't know,
ass blaster bugs.
Our ass blaster bugs to shoot asteroids out of orbit. They go into a black hole or warp or whatever, and then they pop up over here because you know they show a gravity well at one point, and then they hit the Earth, or
that's what the government told them, man.
So, the other thing I really love is how like there's sort of this theme that like nobody's learning anything from history. Because when he's like sign up for mobile infantry. And then the guy says to him, mobile infantry has made me the man I am today. And he goes to shake his hand, and it's an artificial hand.
Yeah, it's a robot hand.
And then you see he has no legs also. And you're thinking, like, whoa, what happened to this guy? And now they're just going to, like, they just pass down the same thing to all the generations, and everybody's going to just lose.
I do wonder how long they've been fighting the bugs in this. Like, did Rico grow up in that, or was he a kid?
I would say it's recent if all their training stuff is still left over from fighting humans and stuff.
I also think a recommendation, since Casper Van Dien was 29 when this movie came out, it's easier to think that they're in college instead of high school.
But they're in high school, right?
They're supposed to be high school.
Yeah, they're in high school.
Well,
it kind of has like a Saved by the Bell thing.
It's basically described. It's Beverly Hills 90210 meets Wing Commander meets Patton. That's Starship
One thing that's also weird is they're from Buenos Aires, but they're all super duper white.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
that's the point.
It's North and South America have become so integrated because it's not all white people, but like. To the point where like everyone's last name is like Spanish, and like the one teacher has like a German
Rico
last name. They're like Ratchik. That's a weird name, and like that's how crazy it's got.
I also like their weird football game they play and shit, and they're like, we got to do the flip 6-3 hole, and like what the fuck is that even like?
I believe it was the Giants versus the Tigers.
Oh yeah,
it's the Buenos Aires Tigers.
Yeah,
and everybody looks like some kind of model. Like like so overly.
Which also plays into like you know how like Nazis wanted the perfect people. Like that's this kind of society.
Well,
Jeez, it's really dark.
Think about that.
I know.
Well, there's so much Nazi stuff in this in general because you have the militarization, you have the fascism, you have the guys and the intelligence guys look like Gestapo agents, and then the whole opening scene where they go like, "Do you want to know more?" and then we're gonna do it. It's like almost shot for shot Triumph of the Will, which is the Nazis' first film.
It's so disturbing.
Even their uniforms, like they're the gray. Like the what's it called? Like the Death Star,
like the Star Wars has the same kind of uniforms.
It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so dark and disturbing when you get into all that, but it's covered up in like this sci-fi bug action.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, I was like, "Yeah, this is fun." And then as I get older, same thing with RoboCop. As I get older, I'm like, "Oh no, there's like a lot of stuff like underneath the surface here that I like makes you think about."
That ad where they're like stomping on the bugs.
Oh yeah, the bugs have nothing to do.
She's like freaking out too. She's like, ah! She's like going nuts.
The Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Like, they didn't do anything. That
had nothing to do with
part. And everybody laughs.
And they're handing the gun to the kids. It's super above, and I can see why a lot of people were not happy with it when it came out because they're expecting a nice Star Trek, Star Wars romp, and
or they're waiting for a character to point out, "Hey, what we're doing is wrong," but none of that existed. They're just like, we're all doing the right thing.
Yeah, I guess that is the weird thing. Yeah, because they never address that because it's so buried. It's like not like they don't come out and just say like, just so you know, this is all really wrong.
I guess the only people who would have said something were like the extremists that they've excised from the planet might have had a comment about it.
There's also the brain bug lady on the TV when they're doing like the guy's like, I find the idea of a brain who thinks offensive.
Yeah.
And so that lady's trying to talk sent into him, and he's like, nope, not listening, no, not listening, which is a very interesting mass media, maybe of our own times, and like they're kind of like picking up on it back in '97.
Oh, was the Neil Patrick Harris being a telepath? Was that just bullshit? Because
no, it was real.
It was.
Yeah, he's like
It's the next stage of human evolution.
Okay, because at the end he touches the brain bug and goes, "It's scared." It's like, yeah, well, no fucking duh. It's scared. It's screaming. It looks sad.
It's afraid. And second off, and then had he make his ferret go up the stairs and go up his mom's dress, which is a weird thing to do to him. No, but like, so I want to go back to Heinlein in the book real quick. Without Starship Troopers, you wouldn't have any Japanese mecha stuff like Gundam and all that stuff. You wouldn't have Space Marines. You wouldn't have power armor. Oh
so
yeah.
I'm thinking of like Mecha Godzilla and stuff like that. Like,
This
what do you mean?
this was written in 1959.
You mean the book?
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, the book. Because, like, in the book, they're not just soldiers, they're wearing power armor, like Halo style. In fact, if you watch, there was a Japanese anime OVA in 1988, and if you look at the thing, it looks like a Gundam mixed with fucking Master Chief. It's like, oh, I see where they stole that from.
Man?
Kind of.
I guess they couldn't do like the power suits. Like they would have had to have done it like Aliens, but they're on like brightly lit planets, not like a dark soundstage like Aliens.
They wanted to.
Appleseed, I think it is.
Appleseed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and digital effects weren't there yet, so I guess they just nixed it for budget.
If you want to see them doing that well, Edge of Tomorrow does the mech suit really well, like they wanted to do for Starship
Which one's
Troopers.
that?
The like Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, that's the one where they keep.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's a good one.
That.
That's a good one.
It's Groundhog's Day, but Tom Cruise and aliens.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Tom Cruise is good. I like Tom Cruise. I'm gonna just put it out there.
He's no Casper Van Dien though.
No,
It depends on the film.
yeah.
Another thing is this: when the trailer came out, it plays Blur's song 2, where it's like woo,
Yeah, woo!
which so Wing Commander used the same song, by the way, in its trailer.
Wing Commander sucked. I hated that movie.
And
Freddie Prinze Jr.
And then, it came out, this was a holiday movie. This came out for Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, it did.
Really?
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah, I remember seeing it was cold out and everything.
It was like November 7th.
This is when I started like taking myself to movies whenever something if something came out when it and it looked like something that I wanted to see. I wouldn't wait till I get people together to go see it. I would just be like, I'm fucking seeing that, and I would just fucking go. So this was one of those.
I go to movies by myself all the time. It's cool. I'm cool.
I actually don't go to
I still
movies
do
anymore.
I wouldn't.
The last movie I saw in other than the ones that we watched for doing this, was The Kingsman when I went with you.
Oh,
you two.
right,
That was the last one I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but there's 5 sequels to Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, I knew there were some, but it's just one of those things to me. It's like one and done. Like, how could you?
I've only
it
seen
really
the second one because Phil Tippett, famous visual effects guy, he directed it, and it's got some decent effects for the direct-to-video movie, but it's not a good movie.
Starship Troopers 2: Hero of the Federation was very much like Pitch Black meets a haunted house.
Yeah,
I remember the part where the guy has the 2 machine guns from the trailer, and that's all I can like.
And then 3: Marauder was like them finally in the suits, but they're way bigger, and it was
and
just
they're all naked.
Everyone's
and
naked.
It's like it's like a scene just to show a bunch of like tits and.
Wait, why are they naked?
Because they have to be naked to pilot the suit, and it's like all these like and they all walk in and like Johnny Rico. But it's funny because they show all the women's like boobs and stuff, but then like all the men are covered up, but all the women you see everything. It's like. All right, we got to throw some nudity in.
Speaking of the nudity, like in Starship Troopers, I remember the scene when they're all showering and it's men and women all together showering.
Which RoboCop had that too, but it was real quick.
Yeah,
this one they linger on everything.
Yeah, no.
Because I remember seeing that as a kid, and I was like, wow.
I was 10, and I was.
That's
my grandfather didn't cover my eyes. He was like real into the movie.
I was like, I was like, I'm not looking. I swear. And I was like,
I remember being like,
fucking looking.
My mom usually covers my eyes at this point, but he's not. Okay, I guess I'm watching.
I think that might have been the first boobs I saw in movies. Actually, no. I saw it in what's it called? The Bruce Lee movie. Fist of Fury, that's what I saw. That was the first boobs I ever saw in a movie.
Fist of Fury? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's the part where like he gets like drugged, and then this chick just takes her top off and
welcome to our video, first boobs we saw in movies.
Okay, that's an interesting.
That's another episode we do. We can dedicate that to Joe Bob too.
Yeah,
People love that.
I don't think we should do a whole. But just for this video, I think it might have been Total Recall. So I got 3.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's as far back as I can remember.
Yeah.
I think maybe Halloween or RoboCop. There's a few of RoboCop.
There's like a boob in RoboCop.
But anyway, to get back to Starship Troopers.
Okay, to bring back boobs in Starship Troopers, in the 3D animated films, they have nude scenes as well.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And not Roughnecks, the show that was on TV.
Yeah, that was a kid's show.
That looks like Beast Wars,
Which I always wanted to watch, but it came on at weird ass times.
Yeah,
like,
I've only seen one episode and it sucked. It was lame.
There's Invasion and Traitor of Mars that just came out, and they don't want.
But Traitor of Mars, like, it's Johnny Rico, but it totally doesn't look like Johnny Rico. He's like he looks like the dude from Deus Ex. Actually, they gave him like a eye patch and shit. It's real weird.
I never asked for this.
Yeah,
and then Dizzy's back in that, even though she dies.
For some reason. I'm guessing like there's some sort of like The third one though, I will say, sucks.
Yeah.
I watched that whole movie, and Casper Van Dien's in it, but like he looks way shorter than everybody in the whole movie, like, and he doesn't look as imposing anymore.
No.
And he's supposed to be more badass because he's like Johnny Rico's been around for a while. But and the movie has like all these weird undertones about stuff, and like they start worshiping the bugs like it's a religion and shit, and it was just
kind of interesting.
Fucking dumb.
It's an interesting idea.
It's an interesting idea, and it's done so like they might as well just punch you in the face with the idea. That's it. Like it's so beat over your head by the end of it. You're like, okay, I get it. Like okay. Good job. We get your ideas. There's no subtlety like in this.
Yeah.
Where everything is kind of like hidden behind an action movie. This is like literally there, just like shoving everything down your throat.
You know, generally speaking, sequels and 3D animated sequels 20 years later are usually terrible.
Yeah.
Whereas Starship Troopers is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. People talk shit on that movie.
No,
Starship
this movie's
Troopers is great.
No, it's great. The effects are great. It has a lot of complicated ideas that I think a lot of people missed the first time around.
The one thing too is this is the first movie I feel like where there was the branch between still doing the traditional, like using body dummies. Like when the guy gets shot in the head, it's like a dummy. Like it's that Verhoeven, like, you know, looking body double thing. And doing like, you know, computerized special effects rather than like some movies either went all special effects like computerized or whatever. But this was like the bridge between.
It was a good marriage of the two, yeah.
I think this movie was sort of the first of its kind where you had something on this big of a scale as far as the action and the effects goes, because you didn't see it that much back then, where it was so over the top and so mind-numbing and so loud, with more creatures on screen at a time that I've ever seen, and more blood, slime, and gunfire, and it was just like, it was like a headache almost. And I was watching, it's like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And now almost every movie's like that.
Yeah, but it's amazing they were able to do it back in '97, and that's why the movie's so good, because they had so much. It took so long to do the visual effects, like I think 3 years or something. They were able to do like the score by our boy Basil. It took him like he had more time to work on the score. They had more time to work on all the little visual effects and stuff like that.
And the CGI still holds up. Some of it's a little too smooth. A lot of CGI at that time was a little smooth, but it kind of works for the bugs.
You know what design doesn't work out? The fucking packaging and the posters. And so a few things. One, I have a giant poster in my office, and it's huge. It was the one that hung at the Cannes Film Festival, but in the bus stop outside, I believe. I think Nuke got me that one. I have, we have this DVD here that's like
this
awful,
terrible DVD. Where they put some just generic bug claw over a ship. Never happens.
It looks
There's never
like
a bug in space attacking a
They
ship.
must have taken like a small I don't know if it's a modeled picture or they just took a picture of a tiny bug's leg and blew it up. It's all like
the bus one that I have has the leg coming through too.
But it's actually the leg from the arachnids. This is just some bug's leg.
Yeah, that looks like a cockroach.
Normal bug. Yeah.
And then I have the 4K, which is fucking awesome copy, Blu-ray, which looks really frightening, like it's a propaganda piece. And I love it because
really dark cover there.
It's not like a fist, like let's do it. It's like pounding down on the bug.
Also, isn't that the shield symbol from Marvel?
It looks like the shield symbol from Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, the graphic design in the Federation isn't the best. And then I also have a UMD of the movie, the PlayStation, which is great because in the movie, remember when Carmen breaks up with them?
Yeah.
She sends him one of these in the mail, like, "Hey, honey, I'm breaking up with you." So now you can pop that in.
He can pop it on his PSP and watch Carmen break up with him.
And the same year, Event Horizon, I think, had the full-size
Yeah.
CDs in it. So
Yeah.
Well, the CD is left over from RoboCop. The guy gets a message on like a CD.
Oh, that's right.
And like I guess Paul Verhoeven, like, well, even further in the future, tiny. Whereas now it's just like it's just digital. You send it over.
It goes back to like the Austin Powers tiny phone.
Also, didn't this movie actually get like kind of like screen technology right? Because they had like the touch screen part where they're drawing on shit, but it's like every time I always see an older like sci-fi movie that's supposed to be, you know.
Even Die Hard had touch screens.
Yeah, they're always using tube TVs. Like they never thought like we might have better screens in the future. Let's make them look different.
Yeah, it's like 16:9.
Yeah, it's always like a regular like this, just with a overlay, a future overlay. But this actually seemed to be like, you know, they're gonna have touch screens in the future and shit. And you know, I guess now though, actually, you know, now that I think about it, whatever's in the actual future is probably gonna like. Are we going to have screens? Are we going to have holograms?
Holograms. Everywhere there's going to be
Everything's
holograms.
virtual reality.
Yeah, they show a hologram in the classroom where the bug's arachnid spinning. It was that was still kind of well done.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't there an action figure, like a bug? That was
Wasn't that like... Yes, I'm glad I've held on to this for over 20 years. So, you know, a lot of Paul Verhoeven films had toys for some reason. Like RoboCop and Starship Troopers also had toys, and I really, really wanted this.
Oh, wait. And Showgirls had toys.
Yeah, Showgirls
had them too.
You couldn't get them at Toys R Us. They had to go to different stores.
Was it for real or was it?
No.
I think so. It had an action figure.
Showgirls toy?
An Elizabeth Hurley action figure.
Oh my god.
And she kicks someone in the face.
Wait, this is battery operated. Does it work?
No, I left the batteries in for 2 decades, so it's corroded the entire inside. So no, the batteries do not work.
That's an awesome figure, though.
Yeah, it looks
yeah, this was like, I used to make little movies where this was like a monster going after me and shit.
Yeah.
You could use like any, like what I like is too, it's like the real size, so like you could use any action figure and like it would be, you know, the right thing.
Yeah.
I remember though the actual human action figures.
I don't remember them at all.
They were awful. There's one of Johnny Rico, and he's in a completely green jumpsuit for some reason, and he's like, and they only held their gun like this.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so like you couldn't make them point their gun the right way.
No.
Yeah, so they just sucked.
Beast Wars helicopter this shit.
Yeah, there were flying arachnids too. They were like green.
They're called hoppers.
Sorry.
Hopper, tanker.
I love that.
Well, guys, I think we're getting a little short on time here.
I think we gotta... short on time?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wrap this one up.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I love the Starship Troopers.
Me too.
I guess the last thing is I feel really bad for Diz. That character just really got shit on the whole movie. And as soon as she dies, Johnny Rico just moves on.
She did get to have him, though.
Yeah!
Alright, well, I guess let's move on to the next episode of Rental Reviews, I guess. But here, you know what? I got one more thing to say. Come on, you apes. Do you want to live forever?
What do you got?
He's got the tattoo from the movie.
Oh, really?
This son of a bitch likes this movie so much, he tattooed his body.
Oh, wait, so he likes Starship Troopers a lot.
Thank you for checking out Cinemassacre Rental Reviews. Take a look at our other videos, and if you want to get some sweet Cinemassacre merchandise, head on over to store.screenwavemedia.com.